Ready, go. Okay. So that's the lightest one, or I guess second lightest. Number 5 like immediately reminds me of when I smelled Allagash White at the test and I said it was a Goza, so that makes me nervous. 2 is like super chocolate. Sweetness perception, maybe a little bit of roast. 3. Not a lot going on there, almost like candy. Candied toast sweetness. 4 is like scotchy to me. Scotch ale-y, not scotch alcohol. Let me see. It makes me a little nervous. So. Something like fruity going on here. I don't know if it's hops. Tropical on the nose, bitter, subtle mouth, not much alcohol warming. So I'm gonna say I think that maybe I'll come back. 5. A little bit farty. I lost a suck. Okay, it's like farty. That one's gonna warm up. Huh, that one's really interesting. It's like German-ish. It's almost like a little acidic. Let's go 3. It's the candy one, I thought. Oh, we didn't get a water glass? That's okay. Wow, this one's so familiar to me. Oh, you know what I think it is? Maybe like a Doppelbock. It's not. It's got that like figgy malt thing. I think these are all maybe just a touch too cold. Yeah, they're like super cold. That one's high alcohol. It's weird that it's a little bit hazy like that. A little bit chewy in the mouth. So cold. That I'm getting like a little bit of like a British yeast under the roast and stuff, so I feel like it's like an English porter. It's quite dark though, and not a lot of carbonation. Could be an English strain used. So cold. Maybe it's like an oatmeal stout. It's so dark. I feel like a porter would have a little bit better head protection and not so much alcohol. Let's try to warm these up a little bit. So the ones I'm feeling the best about are 1 being some kind of pale ale. It's like a very specific orange nose that I'm getting. It's a little bit light in color for that. I don't know. I'm not feeling best about that. 2 is some kind of stout porter. Has that typical chocolatey with coffee. It's a little bit thick and low carbonation. So that's what's making me think maybe oatmeal. It's got like a little cherryness at the finish. A little British. Number 4, I think, is the highest alcohol on the flight. It's got like that, like almost cinnamon-like malt character that I think of when I think of Scotch beers. So I think it's too hazy to be only heavy. Maybe not. A little latent bitterness. I'm gonna go with number 4 is like 8 to 9%. This is like very clear. Maybe that's the higher alcohol one. I feel like I'm drunk already. Putting 9% for that one. It's got a really lasting aftertaste. It's like sweetish. Might just be my palate being coated more than its actual sweetness, but it's perceived as sweetness. Definitely need water next time. That one is like so familiar to me. It's so light in color. Alright, putting some German Pilsner for number 5. It's shockingly clear. So it has a little bit of earthiness. I still feel like there's a little bit of like German character from yeast going on. 2, I think I'm sticking to oatmeal stout. 3, almost started drinking. Leaning toward. Yeah, I'm gonna start. It's like a little bit of like metallic at the end, which whatever it is, I'll want to know. This has that like Maillard sweetness to me. I really, if it's Belgian, I'm gonna kick myself, but and like a little corn coming out. It's like a little butterscotchy. I'm gonna stick to Doppelbock on that. Okay. 5. I mean, this one has the most head retention out of all of them. It's pretty white head. If that was poured, I would call that Pilsner for sure. This one's appearance is throwing me off, but it has that like really orange with some like dank in the background. Subtle overall. Okay, I think I'm done. This is the 10-minute mark, so let's start with number 1.
What'd you say?
I said, well, so when I first smelled it, I got like a serious like orange dankness on the nose, like tropical-ish. actually, is what I said. And then, yeah, I mean, there's not much else going on. I said a pale ale. Could be like a blonde or something, I guess, less hoppy, but I definitely got like a, oh, that's like one of my favorite beers. That's a bad, what is this technically? A Saison, right?
Yeah, it's pretty hoppy.
Yeah, I don't know why I felt like it was so orange. Okay, well, wrong. Number 2, I felt like immediately it smelled just like chocolate. The look of it and like the mouthfeel, I got like some coffee, but the look really threw me off. It's like very still, very like syrupy looking, super chocolatey. So I said it was some kind of like oatmeal stout maybe. I feel like there was something like a little English about it too, but I mean, so it was confusing because I mean, I think it tastes higher than what an oatmeal stout would be, maybe like 7%. Oh god, that's been in there for a really long time. You got 2 Stillwater beers back to back. Chocolate, avocado, honey. Well, lactose, so I knew there was something going on with the mouthfeel. 10%. Okay, well, I feel like that's at least like a half credit. Number 3, I don't know, I smelled it and it's like that thing that I always am like, is it Belgian or is it Maillard? And I don't feel like I got a bunch of other things, so I went Doppelbock on it. I thought this was gonna be blonde. Dark, just called dark beer. Maximator. Oh, so it's Doppelbock. First 100%. First full marks. Okay, well, so now at least I can like start to trust my gut about Doppelbock stuff. 4, I said, so it's the hazy thing threw me off, but it's like chewy to me. Put high alcohol, but I only wrote 8 to 9%, so it's not that high alcohol. I put wee heavy. I mean, I don't feel horrible about that one, actually. It's just not a style I think about enough. This is also like the only beer garden I ever had, so I need to go to France. I don't feel horrible about that one. How old was this? 8.1. It says it uses rye. Okay. And the last one, okay, so when I first smelled it, it reminded me of when I smelled a wit beer on the test and I wrote Goza. So I'm like very scared of that and probably overcorrecting. I ended up writing German Pilsner. Pilsner. Oh, I feel bad. I called it farty like 10 times. Doesn't say what kind of Pilsner though.
I think sulfur's probably more a nicer descriptor.
Sulfur. I don't know. Sulfur's like a straight up off. That's a good point. So I give myself 100, 150. Fail.
I think Beer Garden's closer to
In 10 minutes. I don't feel horrible about that. I need to just drink some normal American pale ales probably.
There's not a lot of other beers that would be that color in that ABV though.
For the beer garden. The beer garden, I think that's also, well no, beer garden can be pretty high ABV. Oh. 10 minutes isn't bad.